students at the Dahlia Academy boarding school are divided into two groups, the white cats and the black dogs. Juliet Persia leads the first-year white cats, and Romeo Inuzuka leads the first-year black dogs. Fighting between the factions is common. Since childhood, Inuzuka and Persia have been rivals, but Inuzuka fell in love with Persia and secretly protected her in every fight. Persia is enraged that Inuzuka never takes her seriously in battle. Inuzuka witnesses older white cats bullying younger black dogs, whom Persia protects. Inuzuka nearly confesses his love but quickly flees. Instead, 3 black dogs kidnap and molest Persia. Inuzuka saves her quickly, and the black dogs storm out of Persia. She then flees, crying. When the 3 black dogs attack Inuzuka for stealing Persia, he beats them up. Persia summons Inuzuka to meet for a duel. Inuzuka lies and claims he saved her out of pity, which causes her to cry, and she realizes she dislikes looking weak. As they duel, Inuzuka realizes he is unwittingly undermining her goal of making the world a better place. Inuzuka finally admits and asks for help in changing the world. Persia responds by pushing him into the fountain, but she agrees to date him if he helps change the world and keeps their relationship private. Inuzuka tries to flee with Persia, but they are stopped by Hasuki Koami, his second in command, and must pretend to fight. Inuzuka attempts to give Persia a rosary as a love token but is apprehended by Scott Fold, Persia's second in command, who pushes him off a building. When Hasuki awakens, he informs him that the dogs are attacking Persia. While searching for Persia, he accidentally breaks the rosary and beats both the cats and the dogs with his statue. He is forced to pick weeds around the school's lake as punishment. Persia accepts the broken rosary and gives him her personal rosary. In response, Inuzuka tries to refuse because her rosary has sentimental value, which irritates Persia enough to throw him in the lake. When Inuzuka asks Persia out on a date, she disguises herself as a male black dog, leading Hasuki to believe Inuzuka is gay. Many black dogs try to befriend her, so Inuzuka claims to be Julio's cousin. Despite the disguise, a silver-haired white cat recognizes Persia. Inuzuka takes Persia to a haunted house, scaring her into fleeing. Chizuru Maru, one of the black dogs who tried to molest Persia, pushes Inuzuka into the sea. Persia defeats Maru in combat and saves Inuzuka. She considers their date a success because they learned more about each other. Inuzuka is pleased. Even though Scott interrupts them again and resumes their charade, the silver-haired white cat realizes Inuzuka and Persia are dating. Inuzuka requests a date for their 1-month anniversary from Persia. White Cat Princess Char, the West's tyrant princess, has returned after a year's absence. After she provokes him, Inuzuka almost hits her until she reveals she has photographs proving he is dating Persia and blackmails him into becoming her servant. Persia will lose her leadership of the cats if their relationship is revealed, so Inuzuka agrees. Maru intends to punish Inuzuka for his treachery. Persia becomes envious of Inuzuka's time with Char. Inuzuka refuses to reveal the blackmail to Persia but assures her that he will protect her. Persia used to see Inuzuka so depressed, reminding him of their anniversary date. Inuzuka becomes adamant about defeating Char. Maru's gang kicks Inuzuka out of the black dog's dormitory. He discovers that Char is Persia's childhood friend, and they share a room. Inuzuka searches the room and discovers Char's Persia collection hidden behind a mirror, revealing Char's crush on Persia. Char is desperate to keep her feelings hidden from Persia, who enters the room unexpectedly. Until Persia leaves, Inuzuka hides the photographs and himself behind the mirror. They form an uneasy truce because Inuzuka now has material to blackmail Char. Inuzuka rushes to their meeting and notices that Persia has repaired his broken rosary and is wearing it. As midterm exams approach, the dogs begin a 72-hour study session with Persia disguised as Julio Maru, who reveals a crush on Julio after Julio defeats him to save Inuzuka, not realizing Julio is Persia in disguise. Hasuki, who has the highest grades, leads the session. Inuzuka assists Persia in sneaking out but is apprehended by Hasuki, who suspects him of keeping secrets. Char warns him about the danger Hasuki poses. Inuzuka insists that Hasuki is his best friend and that she would keep his secret if she discovered it. When Maru asks Hasuki why she likes Inuzuka, she reveals that Inuzuka assisted her in making friends. Inuzuka overhears and confesses her feelings for him. He admits to Persia that he is dating her after realizing he cannot lie to her. Hasuki overreacts by forcing him to commit suicide and attempting to behead him while fleeing. Hasuki almost kills Persia in the woods but is stopped by Char, who admits she knew Persia was dating Inuzuka. Inuzuka believes he is worthless because he can't even be honest with his best friend. Persia assures him he is as strong as he was the day he confessed to her. Suzuki is attacked by Inuzuka, who claims he will never stop being her friend, surviving only because her sword is a replica. When Persia falls into the river, Inuzuka dives after her. Hasuki saves Inuzuka, who cannot swim, while Char saves Persia. Hasuki claims she still hates him but decides they are still friends, even though she threatens to behead him if he flirts with Persia. Inuzuka requests that Persia prepare a bento, unaware she is a terrible cook. Char steals it but accidentally drops it on Scott, who believes Persia made the bento for him. Scott is defeated, but Inuzuka loses the bento, which the pigs devour. Char drags Scott away for more torture. Persia admits that a kitchen maid made the bento. When they are alone, Inuzuka assures her that she does not have to act perfectly. Persia swears she'll make the perfect bento one day. Char has fun with her new victim. Scott. Maru advises Inuzuka to withdraw from the sports festival because the dogs once lost to the cats due to an error made by Inuzuka during the 100-meter race. When Hasuki hears a rumor that anyone who dances with the festival's MVP will become their lover, he decides to win the MVP award and dance with Inuzuka. Scott intends to be named MVP and dance with Persia. A Somali long-haired white cat with superhuman strength, her friend and crush, stops Inuzuka from hitting him. Abyssinia proposes to Persia as his girlfriend if he wins the MVP. This sparks a fight until Persia steps in. Persia asked Inuzuka for help practicing for the three-legged race to win MVP and increase her popularity. Still, she was assisting Inuzuka in getting over his defeat at the previous festival. They agreed that if either of them won MVP, the loser would have to follow one of the winner's orders. Inuzuka regains his motivation and runs the 100-meter race again. During the first half of the festival, Inuzuka decides to have Persia address him by his first name, Romeo. The dogs and cats receive equal points due to rampant cheating. Persia informs Inuzuka that her mother is watching them from the audience, and Inuzuka is surprised that she wishes for him to meet her mother someday. Somali injures Persia on Abby's orders, and the injury causes Persia to trip during the next race against Hasuki. The audience mocks Persia as she is forced to leave for treatment, and Abby and his allies blame her for being a weak girl. Inuzuka is enraged that he couldn't help Persia when she needed him, and he decides to destroy Abby after Char explains that Abby is attempting to steal Persia's leadership of the cats. Due to Abby's drugging of most dogs, the dogs begin to lose in the final cavalry battle. Maru initially refuses to participate in the event as Inuzuka's horse until Persia arrives disguised as Julio, which inspires Maru, and they eliminate all white cats except Abby and Somali. Inuzuka calls out Abby's deception. Somali attacks Maru but is stopped by Inuzuka, who discovers evidence that the Somali spiked shoes injured Persia and throws Abby into the audience, defeating him before the referee declares the dog the winner. Inuzuka demands that Persia fight him as well, or he will never be able to claim to have defeated all of the white cats. Persia is relieved that Inuzuka treats her fairly and returns to fight him. Persia and Inuzuka fight for victory, and the crowd starts cheering again for Persia. The cats have won, with Persia taking home the MVP award. Hasuki replaces Inuzuka as the dog's leader, and later at the party, Persia sneaks away and asks Inuzuka to dance with her. A month later, the student council met to discuss the issues raised at the festival and decided to keep an eye on Inuzuka. Meanwhile, Inuzuka, who hasn't seen Persia in a month, develops a fever from the stress of losing his job, so Persia sneaks in disguised as Julio to see him. Maru gets in her way and starts asking her awkward questions. She flees but ends up in the female baths, where she is mistaken for a pervert. She returns to Inuzuka's room to change her white clothes, but one of Maru's delinquents, Igo Kohisuji, tries to retrieve a porn magazine he left in Inuzuka's room. Persia hides in Inuzuka's bed while still half naked, exacerbating his fever. He eventually recovers, and Persia admits she didn't realize he had a fever when she arrived. She snuck in because she missed him just as much as he missed her. The harvest festival is approaching, and Kochu and Turiya, twin black dog prefects, are in charge of discipline. Persia accepts Inuzuka's invitation but refuses to dress as Julio if Maru notices her. Inuzuka runs into Kochu and Turiya, who reveal that they almost overheard him speaking to Persia. They look through Inuzuka's room for Persia's rosary. They deduce that the rosary has a hidden meaning and decide to find out what it is. Persia and Inuzuka meet at the festival but are forced to hide from the twins. When Inuzuka sees the twins subdue two violent students, he challenges them to a game at the festival. He promises to challenge them again whenever they want after he loses. When he realized the twins wanted to go to the festival but had no friends, they happily agreed to challenge him again one day. Inuzuka rushes back to Persia, but he is too late to watch the fireworks with her, though Persia is glad she caught a glimpse of his softer side while he was playing with the twins. The twins are concerned about how much trouble Inuzuka will cause if he is appointed as a prefect. During the next elections, it is revealed that Inuzuka's older brother, Iru Inuzuka, is a high-ranking student council member. Persia requests a favor from Char for her birthday. Inuzuka intends to give Persia a gift and dupes the twins to grant him permission. He runs into Char, but a police officer warns them that radicals from Inuzuka's home country, Towa, are nearby and orders Char to return to school. So Char makes Inuzuka her bodyguard. The twins are overheard discussing Inuzuka's rosary by Inuzuka's brother, Eru. Char scolds Inuzuka for attempting to manipulate her into breaking up with Persia. Char recalls that Persia was the only other person who ever chastised her. She is approached by radicals who believe Inuzuka, a fellow Tau one, will assist them, but he saves Char because Persia would cry if Char were hurt. Char admits she was envious because Persia had asked Char to assist her in spending her birthday with Inuzuka. Inuzuka asks Persia what kind of gift she wants and requests a matching pair of accessories. Char believes Persia and Inuzuka are destined to break up and are concerned about what she will do if this occurs. She then torments Scott to tear herself apart. When Inuzuka returns to his room, he finds Hasuki, the twins, and his brother there. Eru confronts Inuzuka with the rosary and threatens him with expulsion and disinheritance if he encounters a white cat girl. He then supervises Inuzuka personally for 7 days. Inuzuka tells the twins that Eru would use to beat him when they were kids. Persia finally makes perfect cookies for Inuzuka, but she is concerned that he is always with his brother and is more depressed than ever. Eru forces Inuzuka to resume kendo training and brutally beats him. Inuzuka tells Hasuki that he tricked Iru into lowering his guard to see Persia on her birthday. Hasuki is confronted by Persia, who demands to know what is wrong with Inuzuka. Inuzuka sneaks out but is apprehended by Eru. He attempts to confront him but is knocked unconscious and locked in a shed. Inuzuka, on the other hand, knew Eru would lock him in the shed and had persuaded the twins to defy Eru by opening the shed. Inuzuka rushed to Persia after Eru left, but he collapsed from his injuries. On the other hand, Persia arrived in time and caught him, and she tearfully apologized for everything that had happened to him due to their relationship. The cats are on guard against Inuzuka, who attends her birthday party every year and throws a cream pie in her face. As a side note, I believe he was attempting to convey his true intentions. Persia begins to avoid Inuzuka to avoid being hurt again, which causes him to become depressed. Persia tells Char everything that happened, and she can't bear the thought of being near Inuzuka. After eating the cookies, Char gives them to Inuzuka. Inuzuka can taste Persia's effort and decides to continue his tradition for Persia's birthday. Persia seeks advice from the White Cat members of the student council, but before she can do so, Inuzuka and the black dogs invade the party with pies, and Somali and Abby apprehend Inuzuka before Abby can exact her revenge. Inuzuka flees and is assisted in evading capture by the White Cat Keith Sith. He decides to assist Inuzuka in making school life more interesting by revealing that he placed Persia in the fourth-floor storeroom. And Cyber, the student council secretary, apprehends them, and his true identity is revealed. Keith Sith informs Inuzuka that it is his responsibility to prevent him from reaching Persia. Meanwhile, Persia attempts to flee by climbing out the fourth-floor window. After realizing Persia is on the balcony, Inuzuka leaps out the window and catches him. Inuzuka finally wishes Persia a happy birthday, and Persia confesses her feelings for him. Before he can find Inuzuka, Eru and Persia pierce each other in the face and declare their fight a draw. However, Eru publicly confronts Inuzuka with Persia's rosary and other evidence, accusing them of being lovers. Persia accuses Inuzuka of attempting to humiliate her and challenges him to a duel with real swords. Eru still doesn't believe them, so Inuzuka and Persia stab each other in the chest to stay together. Later, it is revealed that they stabbed each other in the rosaries they were both wearing, destroying them, with the school now convinced their enemies were responsible. Inuzuka secretly presents matching rings to Persia and declares that, before changing the world, he will change the school by becoming perfect. The school resumes normal operations. Despite his reservations, Eru agrees to let Inuzuka join the student council. On their next secret date, Inuzuka takes the first step toward perfection by wearing matching rings. Persia and Inuzuka decide that one day, when they have nothing to fear, they will address each other as Romeo and Juliet, and the video ends there. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'll upload many more videos like this one, so I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If this series is the most liked in my anime recap production, I will make a part 2. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to help me make more content.